Hi, second graders. I'm so excited that this week we get to learn about my absolute favorite animal, which is sea turtles. So here is one of the books that we're going to get some information from. So please follow along as I read it to you. It's called Sea Turtles. All right, it's a nonfiction book. It is full of information and facts all about sea turtles. There is a table of contents. So here is what we're going to read about. There's going to be a little introduction, types of sea turtles, their physical appearance, nesting, hazards, protecting sea turtles, and then a glossary in the back. So remember, glossaries have words and their definitions if you don't know what they mean. Introduction. Sea turtles have roamed the oceans for at least 150 million years. They are among the oldest surviving animals, having lived during the time of dinosaurs. Like dinosaurs, sea turtles are reptiles, and like all reptiles, sea turtles are cold-blooded. They have scaly skin, breathe air, and have a heart with 3 chambers. So sea turtles have been around since the time of dinosaurs. They are very old animals. Sea turtles have many living turtle relatives, including freshwater turtles, snapping turtles, tortoises, and soft-shelled turtles. All of these turtles live either on land or in fresh water. Sea turtles are the only turtles that live in the salt water of the world's oceans. So they're related to all those other kind of turtles that you may have heard of. But remember, we're focusing on sea turtles that live in the ocean. On to types of sea turtles. You can see a picture right there. That is a leatherback turtle. Sea turtles are divided into 2 types. One type, called the leatherback, is covered with leathery skin. Beneath this skin is a shell made of cartilage and thousands of tiny bones. The cartilage forms prominent ridges that give the leatherback its unique appearance. The leatherback is the largest of all sea turtles and the most widely distributed. It lives far out at sea, except during breeding season. So a leatherback turtle doesn't have that typical hard shell that you're used to seeing when you think of a sea turtle. They have kind of a leather-looking shell. All types of sea turtles, other than the leatherback, have a shell made of bony plates or scutes. The top part of the shell is called the carapace, I think. The part of the shell under the turtle's belly is called the plastron. These 2 parts are connected to the muscles and bones inside the turtle's body. The number and pattern of scutes is helpful in identifying the type of sea turtle. So we have 3 bolded words here. They are bolded because we can find them in the glossary. So I'm going to scroll through the next few pages and I'm going to find the glossary all the way in the back so we can talk about what those words mean. So they talked about scutes, right? The bony plates that make up a turtle's shell. So if you look at the shell and you see kind of those little shapes on the shell, those are the scutes. We also read about the carapace, right? That's the top of the turtle shell. And then also the plastron, the part of the turtle shell underneath the belly. Okay, go back to where we were. Oh, one more page. Here we go. Dan, did you know? Unlike a land turtle, a sea turtle cannot pull its limbs or head into its shell. So maybe you've seen or had a turtle that you as a pet or something, and they can pull their heads and their limbs inside their shell. Sea turtles cannot do that, right? They don't want to be able to do that because then water could get in there too inside the ocean. So they actually can't pull their heads or limbs inside their shell. On to the next type of turtle. The green turtle is a medium to large sea turtle with a shell that has mottled markings. The green turtle's head is small relative to its body when compared to other sea turtles. It lives in many oceans around the world. So there's a picture of the green turtle. That's the one that's probably most common or the one that comes to mind when you imagine a turtle. They're brightly colored, right? We also have a black turtle. The black turtle is sometimes called the Pacific green turtle. Researchers disagree on whether it is a type of green turtle. The black turtle is dark gray with stripes of other dark colors. It lives on the west coasts of North and South America. The black turtle prefers to live in warm bays and protected shores and is rarely found in the open ocean. So they like to stay near the shore where they are protected. So we've read about the leatherback turtle, the green turtle, and the black turtle. Here's another type. This one right here, right? Kind of a reddish shell. That's called the loggerhead turtle. It is a large reddish-brown sea turtle. It has an extremely large head for the size of its body. Loggerheads live along the coast in tropical and subtropical waters around the world. So they have a really large head, right? Maybe that's why they're called a loggerhead. And then we also have the hawksbill. So that one's a little bit smaller of a turtle, isn't it? It is a small to medium sea turtle with a hawk-like beak. Its shell has a distinctive pattern of thick, overlapping brown scales. It lives in and around shallow coastal waters, in and around coral reefs. Kemp's ridley, one of the smallest sea turtles, has an oval shell that is black during juvenile years, changing to olive gray during adulthood. The Kemp's ridley has one of the most restricted ranges of all sea turtles. Adults are rarely found outside the Gulf of Mexico, and almost all Kemp's ridleys nest on a 5-mile stretch of beach in Mexico. Many turtles migrate, right? They go from one place to the other because they like warm ocean waters. But it sounds like this Kemp's ridley's turtle that you see here, it doesn't migrate. It stays off of the Gulf of Mexico. The olive ridley, another small sea turtle, is similar to the Kemp's ridley. However, its shell is thinner and its head is smaller. The shell is heart-shaped or round and may be gray-brown, black, or olive green. The olive ridley lives in coastal tropical regions of the world's oceans. All right, last turtle we're going to learn about, last type. Australian flatback. Lives in shallow waters off the coast of northern Australia and Papua New Guinea. It stays close to the shore, never venturing into the open ocean. It prefers to live around coral reefs and grassy inlets. The Australian flatback has a flat body with a smooth shell that is olive gray with lighter edges. So they're all very different in the way they look, but they are all different types of sea turtles. Did you know the largest leatherback ever recorded weighed over 1 ton? Like the size of a small car. Could you imagine? All right, physical appearance. So what do turtles look like? Sea turtles vary greatly in size. The largest is the leatherback, which can grow as large as 2.2 meters or 7.2 feet and weigh up to 700 kilograms or 1,500 pounds. The smallest sea turtle are the olive ridley and Kemp's ridley. They may measure up to 71 centimeters, which is 28 inches. So, right, probably about this big. That's not a very big turtle, right? They measure up to 71 centimeters or 28 inches and weigh up to 45 kilograms or 100 pounds. Adult male and female sea turtles of species are equal in size. So the male turtles and the female turtles are the same size relatively. Sea turtles are strong, graceful swimmers and divers whose streamlined bodies are well adapted to life in the ocean. Long front flippers provide the power for propelling through the water. The hind flippers are used as rudders for steering. So they use their front flippers, right, for getting them to go. And then their back flippers, they turn so they can steer, kind of like a boat. When sea turtles are active, they need to return to the water's surface every few minutes in order to breathe. When resting or sleeping, they can remain underwater without breathing for 2 hours or more. So this one in the picture where you can see the scuba diver is the hawksbill sea turtle. And this one right here is a close-up that shows that they have jaws that are kind of like a beak. Like all turtles, sea turtles have jaws that are beak-like in shape and lack teeth. So no teeth. The unique jaw shape of each species is an adaptation to its unique diet. Some sea turtles are carnivorous, like meat eating, right? Some are herbivores, are plant eating, and some are omnivores, eating both meat and plants. Green sea turtles are herbivores as adults. Leatherbacks feed mainly on soft-bodied animals such as jellyfish, and loggerheads eat crabs, jellyfish, and mollusks. So depending on what type of turtle it is, they might be meat-eating carnivores, they might just have plants and be herbivores, or they do both, okay? And they don't have any teeth, so they have to use their jaw to kind of get the food and break it apart so they can eat it. Nesting. Sea turtles live almost their entire lives in water. Females come onto sandy beaches mainly to lay their eggs. Sea turtles are awkward and slow moving on land, as well as being nearsighted, so they can't see very well. Because of this, they are more vulnerable to attack by predators while on land. Do you know? A male sea turtle may live its entire life without ever coming on land. So the male sea turtles might not ever leave the ocean. The females need to, right? Because they have to come to land to lay the eggs. Most females return to the same nesting beach every year. They come ashore at night, alone, usually during high tide. A female chooses a spot above the high tide line so her eggs will not get washed away. With her front flippers, she digs a pit for her body, then digs an egg cavity with her hind flippers. Digs herself a little hole, right? So then she can lay the eggs safely under the sand. And there's a picture of one of the eggs. The female sea turtle lays her eggs in the egg cavity. Depending on the species, she may lay between 50 and 200 eggs. The eggs, which look like ping pong balls, have soft shells and do not break as they fall from her body. When the female has laid her eggs, she uses her hind flippers to cover them with sand. The sand keeps the eggs hidden from predators and keeps them warm, so they will incubate. So she covers it all up so they stay safe, they stay warm until they hatch. When a female sea turtle comes on land to lay her eggs, she often looks as though she is crying. This is because of a gland that helps rid her body of excess salt. While on land, the tears help to keep the sand out of her eyes while she is digging her nest. Did you know? Sometimes a female crawls onto land, but for unknown reasons, decides not to nest. This is called a false crawl. So sometimes they come up there, but they actually don't lay their eggs, and scientists can't figure out why they do that. Uh-oh, we've got some predators. Sea turtle eggs hatch between 45 and 70 days after being laid. So that's like a month and a half to 2 months after. Hatchlings usually wait until night to emerge from the nest. They are very vulnerable to predators when they first hatch. Nighttime is a safer time for them to make their way to the water. Still, many hatchlings do not survive the trip to the ocean. So they've got lots of predators like seagulls or other birds or raccoons, right? So they wait till nighttime so they can try to safely crawl to the ocean. Do you know? Sea turtle eggs do not start out male or female. The temperature of the surrounding sand helps to determine the sex of the hatchling. Hot sand produces more females and cool sand produces more males. So depending on if it's warm or cold, that means you'll have more boy turtles or more girl turtles. Hazards. Adult sea turtles have few natural enemies. Sharks are the main predators, especially tiger sharks. Sea turtle eggs and hatchlings are eaten by fish, dogs, seabirds, raccoons, ghost crabs, and other predators. More than 90% of hatchlings are eaten by predators, and only about 1 in 1,000 sea turtles survives to maturity. That's sad, right? The most serious dangers to all kinds of sea turtles come from human impact. Nesting areas are scarce because of building construction along beaches. Lights, noise, trash, and activity on beaches can discourage adult females from coming on shore. All of these things also confuse the hatchlings, who may accidentally head away from the ocean instead of towards it. Some sea turtles die from eating trash. Leatherbacks often mistake plastic for jellyfish and die when it clogs up their digestive system. Sea turtles can also die from injuries caused by collisions with boats. So we have to do what we can to help the sea turtles by not throwing trash in the oceans, right? So they don't try to eat it. Protecting sea turtles. Thousands of sea turtles drown each year in shrimp nets. United States law requires shrimp fishermen to use a turtle excluder device on all shrimp nets, which is a trap door inside the shrimp net that allows sea turtles to escape. They have saved the lives of many turtles. Right? So they have a little net here that lets the sea turtles out so they don't get stuck in the fishermen's nets. Sea turtles are also hunted for their shells, which are used to make combs, eyeglass frames, and souvenirs. Another danger to sea turtles is the illegal collection of their eggs for food. Green turtles and other sea turtles are also hunted illegally for their meat. All 8 species of sea turtles are threatened or endangered in the United States. It is illegal to harm or interfere with a sea turtle or its eggs. Right? Many people don't listen to those rules though, right? So we have to do what we can to help protect the sea turtles. I'm going to scroll down onto the last page. Some zoos and aquariums have captive sea turtles. Sea turtles are much happier in the wild, but it is also good for people to learn about sea turtles and watch them up close. People can also learn about the many hazards to sea turtle survival caused by humans. Hopefully, enough people will care about sea turtles to preserve their habitats and help them to survive. So I hope you enjoyed learning about sea turtles. Next, you get to do a little PowerPoint presentation to give you more information about sea turtles. There are some videos on there about sea turtles, and then we're going to get to actually write all that we've learned about sea turtles. By second